sometimes in a tournament, there's one day when the table does not change dramatically, but the mood does. Today felt like that day. One former champion looked rattled, one associate nation looked fearless, and one team quietly reminded everyone why they are dangerous. Welcome to Deep Point. Salaf, today was not just about results, it was about signals. In today's video, we will decode the signals. Salab, let's start with the three matches. I will quickly take the viewers through the matches, and then we can deep dive into the matches and the whole day. So in the first match, UAE put up 160 at 97 for 2. They were building something serious, but they came Omarzai. 4 overs, 15 runs, 4 wickets. That spell did not allow UAE to come up with a great score. Then the Afghanistan's chase was quite good, although there was an early wicket. Gurbaz gone, but they somehow get over the line. Second match
I
was
think Azmatullah Omarzai finished the match excellently. So he was the
yes. Yeah, we will get you will get to that. Get to that. Yeah. So he was one of the key players today for them. The second match, England versus Italy in Eden Gardens. So they
excellent match.
excellent match.
Excellent.
And we can see, and we will discuss that in today's video, that the gap between the teams are shrinking, and we will talk about what signal that is sending to the audience and to the upcoming matches and future tournaments. So we will talk about that. So England made 202 strong total, but at 105 for 5, they came back from that situation and put up a great total. Will Jacks played a great innings of 53, brilliant innings. His response was the main story. So their batters. So one batter and Salaf will deep dive into that. One batter scored 60 of 25. The other batter scored 45 of 23. So they were 1-4 for 4. The game was at a balance, but later came Sam Curran and he took a few wickets. He stopped the flow of runs and helped save the match for for his team. Overton also took 3 wickets for 18, so his spell was also important, and we will talk about that. But then comes the match of the day: Sri Lanka versus Australia, and Australia started really well. They were looking quite good. Australia was 104 for 0 in 8.3 overs. Marsh was flying, Head was unstoppable. Projected score was more than say, 220 and around that kind of score. But what happened? They got all out for 181 because of great comeback from Sri Lanka, and they kept that momentum in their batting also. It was a very smooth chase, and we will talk about that chase also, because that's the main story, the story of Pathum Nissanka, the way he took his team over the line, and they didn't look hurried. They were in proper control, and there was no panic. They chased 181 in 18 overs. So we will talk about their authority and the way they have shown that they are here to win this tournament, not just to participate. And we will talk about Sri Lanka's resurgence and the way they are playing in this tournament. So Salap, take us through these matches and the key moments, key performances where different teams performed well, where they faltered, and obviously a brief summary of what happened today.
Yeah, so Afghanistan versus UAE, the match was not in the context of this tournament. The match was not having much of relevance because both are like almost both their the UAE has been officially knocked out today. Afghanistan again has very slim chance, but New Zealand will definitely beat Canada. So I think their World Cup dreams are also all but over. So not much of a relevant game in the context of the World Cup. Yeah, definitely both the sides, both are from Asian side. So we have seen them in the Asia Cup. We've seen UAE is developing to be a team that will be challenging a lot of teams in future. UAE has defeated Bangladesh in a series in home in Bangladesh, so they have good records. What impressed me about about Afghanistan today was today they made the chase in a very clinical fashion. So though Gurbaz was out for a duck, Ibrahim Zadran started things really well. So that was expected from Ibrahim Zadran. Ibrahim Zadran was not finding the knock that he's known to play so this time. So that was one of the reasons why there was something a little bit a problem that was faced by Afghanistan. So I think Ibrahim started things really well, and the finishing was extremely good by Azmatullah Omarzai. And the spell that you have mentioned, Azmatullah Omarzai raked the entire middle order of UAE. So he was just unstoppable. Some of the deliveries that he would were, extremely, extremely like unplayable. So I think he was very clinical in that bowling innings. The next match was again England versus Italy. It was having some importance because England had to win this, otherwise their World Cup hopes were, into some sort of real threat. And for Italy also, nobody expected them to do a lot since they have defeated, Nepal in the last match, and that too very authoritatively. They defeated Nepal, and again against this Nepal only, England found their times really tough, somehow managed to win that match. So this was also a very extremely interesting match to see. Sometimes you would, like, whenever I will be mentioning England versus Italy, you will feel like it's a football match. So it was a Euro 2024 final. So I think, yeah, so that was a kind of a repeat match of Euro 2024 final.
Yeah,
So yeah,
things are moving in that direction in cricket
things are
also.
moving
That
in that direction. Yes,
hmm,
yes, yes.
hmm,
So so more teams are supposed to come. And so whatever we saw from Italy in this tournament, they might not be able to make it to the next round. But whatever Italy has shown this tournament, I think it will be extremely interesting to see how ICC helps the entire cricket team. Italy and USA, I think these two teams, we will be, looking out for. So we will make another episode about the teams who really, attracted a lot of eyeballs this time
hmm.
unexpectedly. Yeah, so that match, as you were mentioned, so England's batting was not very easy because Italy was picking, wickets in very regular intervals. There were some good innings from Tom Benton, but the actual impetus and the actual impact was coming. Yeah, it actually came from Will Jacks. That extremely, extremely great finish, the way he finished the innings. And Italy, I think where they lost out, I think that was their death overs. So had they been a little bit more clinical during the death, I think this match could have been gone away from England. So whatever Italy has shown, I think that 22 ball 53 from Will Jacks,
Hmm.
that will be extremely brilliant innings. I think England is riding on some or the other innings, and they have just kept their hopes alive. They have moved to the next round also. They just managed somehow. And also when it comes to Italy's batting, they lost a few early wickets. Archer is now looking really good in the
Hmm.
initial overs. So he has found his, at least in the initial overs, he has found his form. Harry
Hmm.
Brook is making him bowl maximum as many overs as he can in the power play only. If I look at their batting, firstly, Justin Mosca, the one of the Mosca brothers, and Ben Menanti, one of the Menanti brothers, they had a great partnership. And Ben Menanti, what an innings! 25 ball 60, uh, brilliant
Yeah.
innings, strike rate of 240. I think he was phenomenal. And then came that brilliant innings from Grant Stewart. So at one time, I think just like the Nepal match, Italy was also showing real threats that they will be able to chase this. But what happens with these inexperienced associate nations is somehow because of the lack of experience in this big ICC tournaments and against the bigger teams. Finally, these teams they managed to make them choke. So
Yeah,
exactly that happened. Mm.
they succumb to the pressure
They
at
succumb to the pressure.
important moments. But
Mm-hmm.
I will slip in one discussion point here, and then we will move to the match of the day, that is Sri Lanka versus Australia. So, do you think these associate teams now tactically braver than some full members? I'm seeing they are taking braver calls. They are more intentional in their decisions, in their strategies. How do you see this particular pattern in this tournament?
Bean Menenti and Grant Stewart. Have you seen some of the shots that they played? Especially Grant Stewart at the end. I think he was taking on which bowler? I think against uh, he hit I think back to back to sixes. These were
Hmm.
phenomenal sixes.
Hmm.
Wow, what shot! Adil Rashid, a
Hmm.
bowler who has
And
a
Will
knack of
Jacks,
Will
against Will
Jacks, they
Jacks
they
also.
took on they took on Will Jacks. I think
Hmm.
Ben Menendez took on Will Jacks, and the way these bowlers are being taken. So Adil Rashid has a knack of giving flight and everything. They charged him. Nepal charged him. Nepal, so did Italy today. I think Adil Rashid is going for a lot of runs this World Cup. So kind of his poison is getting nullified now. And as you mentioned that they do not have anything to lose and they are extreme. They're playing so carefree and my goodness, some of the shots that Italy's batsmen played, I think I was looking some phenomenal shots. And yeah, so that is very much the match. And also, we can make a different episode on how different teams have performed just after we officially, are done with the league stage. And when we will be entering the Super 8, we will be discussing.
Yeah, I will move to the next segment, but let's focus on another point, that the experience factor, right? So, although, say, Italy had the energy, but England somehow had experience. Think about bowler. So, although Rashid went for a lot of runs, but Rashid also took important wicket. Think about Jamie Overton. Think about Sam Curran. All of them had some amount of exposure and experience. How do you think this experience and exposure factor made a difference in this match?
A lot. So basically, the way Sam Curran has been the savior in two matches against Nepal and now against Italy. So, like, what if Sam Curran was not there? So, I think he's becoming a brilliant death bowler now. He is proving that he can what he can also. So he was our X Factor player also when we were discussing the squads. Yeah. So Sam Curran, Jamie Overton, also Adil Rashid, they're seasoned players. They have so much experience with the big teams, even with in such pressure situations. Even if they are going for runs, they know how to pick up the wickets. So they did exactly that. They followed the. So why are we discussing England versus Italy? Is the reason is the fact that Italy could score so many runs. So it was always expected that England will defeat Italy when they have a score like 200 plus, in their hands. But when the margin is as less as 25 runs, we must and at some point it was really looking like Italy is having high chances of pulling off an upset today. So that's the reason why. Otherwise, because of the experience, because of the exposure, because of the kind of the varieties of leagues that are played by these
Mhm.
English players play all over the world. So they know the conditions all over the world. They are exposed to everything. So it was very much expected from them. So that's it.
All right. Now let's move to the match of the day, Sri Lanka versus Australia. And we saw how Sri Lanka dominated, but more than that, how Australia looked uncertain in their approach, especially when they bowled and especially at the later part of their batting. So I will start with this Sanlap, and you then can also summarize
Please,
what
please.
happened.
Please, please.
How does a team go from, say, dominance? In If you look at the initial part, I think 108 for no loss in initial 788.3 overs or something like that. From there,
181.
181 as the target.
181
How
all out.
can all out
181 all
one?
out.
How can one team go from dominance to collapse in 90 minutes? So let's start with that question, and then we can summarize what happened.
Yeah. So first and foremost, the inability to read the conditions. Okay. So just look at the way Sri Lanka today, pulled these things back in favor of them. And just look at the relevance of the match. So first, let's discuss the relevance of the match. This was kind of a must-win match for Australia. So now they are
Hmm.
all but knocked out from, and this is happening for the first time. Australia never gets knocked out from the league stage. Would like they would at least reach the Super 8, and we are now in that position where Australia is getting knocked out of any T20 tournament from the first round for the first time. It's a massive thing. And if I am if I am considering the start that they had, so with Marsh and Head, we discussed this that Marsh. So they were, we can see that how much they were missing Mitch Marsh. Once Mitch Marsh comes, the opening pair, they look a totally different thing. So the way
Hmm.
they started, the way they were exploding in the power play, and the way they were going till the ninth over, I think flawless batting, fearless batting, and there was like no clue for the bowlers in Sri Lankan arsenal that they could do anything special. But once that one wicket fell, once Travis had fell, thereafter the spinners, Hemantha, Velalage, and later on, brilliant death bowling by Thikshana and Chamira. We were discussing this on WhatsApp, that the way they are pulling things off, and also somewhere or the other, while we are talking about Australia's middle order, Cam Green, the one who was supposed to be their spinal cord in the middle order. So we discussed this in the squad discussion of Australia, that Cam Green is holding a very important position. The way Cam Green has failed in this entire tournament, I'm really thinking about the money lost by KKR management. Now the way Cam Green has played, think much concerning in the Australian setup, and after injury, he is looking extremely off color.
Yeah.
A little bit of face saving was done by English and Maxwell's partnership, and also Nissanka dropped a catch of Maxwell, and after that he compensated that with one of the best catches of the tournament. That I think the catch that Nissanka took, I think that can be compared with any catch that is taken by Glenn Phillips in that position. So brilliant catch. And after that, I think it was just a matter of minutes, because lower middle order of Australian batting lineup, they could not, fire this time. Stoinis was also extremely ordinary. So,
Yeah.
kind of it was. Uh,
I'm just throwing in some numbers so that viewers can visualize what
mm,
happened. So they were 104 for 0. Okay.
mm, mm,
And then 10 wickets fell for 77 runs.
mm, mm, mm,
Just
mm,
imagine. So
mm,
there was no rebuilding, there was no partnership, there was no calm head, there was no late acceleration, or there was no finishing to that innings. Even I saw their finishers were missing balls after balls, and they, obviously we have to give credit, as you said, we have to give credit to Sri Lankan bowlers. They bowled brilliantly at death overs, but Australian batters, I can see that they are they were clueless. They did not have any strategies against the Sri Lankan bowlers. So I think this is not just execution failure. There was execution failure also, but I think also this is pressure creeping in, and Australian players are not living up in situations where they have to live up to and cope up with the pressure of a match like this one. So we talked about Australia's batting and how they faltered. But let's talk about Sri Lankan batting. Okay, how Pathum Nissanka, he scored a brilliant 100 of 52 balls, and the kind of means maturity and the kind of measured approach that he showed. Let's talk about his innings and others. So he was not just the only one. He obviously he scored the 100, but there were two other batters who played around him, and let's talk about them also.
So even before the Sri Lankan innings started, I think we were discussing that it's Nisanka's day today because it was long due because he was not finding his form for quite a lot of innings. What I find about this batsmen like Sanju Samson, Aiden
Ma-
Markram,
hmm,
Pathum Nissanka, these batsmen are extremely gifted, and when it is their day, they will, take away any match from any point of time. Just think about the Asia Cup match between India and Sri Lanka, the innings
hmm,
that was played by Nissanka. I can't even imagine that some player can play that kind of an innings. What was he doing on that day? He did the same today. He was looking like he can't be dismissed. He is hitting reverse six by a reverse sweep. He is hitting sixes like we was picking up fast deliveries from Australian bowlers. He was doing everything, and the way
yeah,
he nullified the spin attack of Zampa. Today I think Australia missed Kuhneman. They could have brought in Kuhneman, but Zampa and Connolly were like they were having no clues. Even like when Nisanka was, he was at one point of time, people might think that he is, playing a little bit slow, but that was just to make sure that he is not getting dismissed. He's keeping himself, intact to, do the finishing of the entire targets. Otherwise, Nisanka has a history of, having a good start, and after that, he sometimes perishes even before the finishing is completed. He has that
yeah.
history.
Even when Mendis fell, there was
Mm.
no panic. He
No, they were no.
continued that tempo and he finished the match. So that was a brilliant innings.
So I think we should not forget about Mendis's contribution.
100%.
Mendis was also looking extremely good when the partnership, and that partnership was one of the best partnerships in this edition of the World Cup. But like after Mendis got dismissed, I think Sri Lanka's main, in last few matches is this number four Pavan Rathnayake. He is in a brilliant form, and the kind of impact that he is bringing every match. So he's giving these type of innings of high strike rate and scores around 30s to 50s. He will not score maybe a 50, but his score will range around this 30 to 50, and he will score these runs so fast that it creates a big gulf between the teams that are playing. So Pavan Ratnayake is in a prime form of his life, and I think that was enough for finishing the chase. I think one thing that acted in favor of Sri Lanka, this match was getting played in Kandy. So Kandy's weather has some dew effect at night, which is not there in Colombo. So that's why today Sri Lanka won the toss and they decided to bowl first. So that was one of the reasons why Sri Lanka. Otherwise, we can see that people batting first, teams batting first, they are having an upper age in Sri Lankan pitches. So yeah, clinical chase, and I think Australia is just staying relevant till tomorrow's afternoon because tomorrow we have
Mm,
Zimbabwe versus Ireland, and I
yeah.
think Zimbabwe must win against Ireland, and once that is completed, I think this is historical. Some historical thing is going to happen tomorrow afternoon officially.
All right. So I think we almost have covered everything that we plan to cover in today's episode. And obviously, tomorrow we have important matches, including the one you just mentioned. That's very important. Okay, that
Very
will be
important.
tournament defining, Super 8 defining match.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
So
Now,
basically,
I will, yeah,
that is very important from India's perspective also, because Australia was supposed to come to India's
yeah.
group in Super 8. So instead of Australia, now India will have Zimbabwe in their group of Super 8. So I think
Hmm.
that is extremely important for Indians to watch also. Yeah.
All right, so I will end today's video with this. I think T20 tournaments are not won in one match. So obviously there will be a lot of matches, but they can be lost in one moment, and that we are seeing with many big teams. And today we saw many such moments. So we saw moments of composure, we saw moments of fearlessness, we also saw moments of vulnerability from a big team, right? We will see tomorrow and upcoming matches whether these moments were temporary or these moments are transformational. This is Deep Point. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.